Hello, this is Brandy Davis, HMIS trainer with Austin Echo. This video is going to be a review of some of the features in HMIS, how to use them, and why we do. This slide is an overview of some of the features we are going to cover in this video. We're going to cover enter data as, what that means and how to use it, case plans, we're going to go over goals and case notes, how to update the client photo, how to use service transactions, and assigning yourself as case manager, homepage dashboard, how we customize that for whatever works best for your workflow, and then lastly, agency news. First, we'll go over how to create goals and case notes. So the goals function can be used to track clients' goals in HMIS and whether they've achieved those goals, are working towards them, or have abandoned the goal. Sometimes providers also choose to use the goal function only to access case notes because you have to create a goal to create your first case note. And so if you're just using goals to access case notes, you can just create one goal and add all of your case notes to it. But if you are using goals to track clients' progress in HMIS, you can create case notes that correspond with each goal. Either way, to create a goal in HMIS, you would click on the Case Plans tab on the client's record and then click Add Goal. Next, you would fill out the asterisk portion of the goal pop-up window. So you can choose from the list of classifications whatever is most appropriate. In this instance, I've chosen substance abuse, and then you can click the type of goal that corresponds with that classification. And then for overall status, typically when you create this goal, they're going to be working towards it. So you can choose in progress and then click add goal. So once you've chosen add goal, you will then see the option to create case notes. That's why if you're just using the case notes function, you would need to create a goal first. And then you can click add case note and then type up your note in the note box to save. Lastly, if you need to close a goal, you can reopen the goal you'd originally created. And if the client achieved the goal, you can choose that from the drop-down menu and the date the client achieved that goal. Or if the client did not achieve the goal, you can choose abandoned and choose the appropriate date for that. Next, we'll cover enter data as. Enter data as means the program you are entering data under in HMIS. Your default EDA or enter data as will be in the top left-hand corner of HMIS when you log in. And so you'll automatically be entering data under that program. But if you need to enter data under another program, you can switch the program you're entering data under or change the EDA. And in the next slide, we'll go over how to do that. If you want to change your EDA, you would click Enter Data As next to the mode in the top right-hand corner of HMIS. Once you do that, you'll see a list of options of programs you can enter data under. You would click the green plus sign to switch to that program. And if you don't see a program that you need access to in your list that's available to you, then you can always send us a help desk ticket and we could add that for you. Next, we'll cover service transactions. This is used in HMIS to track services provided by your program. Examples of this would be bus passes, cab vouchers, Narcan kits, food supplies, clothing, anything like that. To record services, we can do this directly from the Client Summary tab in HMIS. We would click Add Service and then click the drop-down next to Service Type, and there should be a list of options to choose from. And we can customize this pick list for you to populate options for services that your program commonly provides if we need to add some there for you. Next, we can change the need status to identified. And if this is a one-time service like a bus pass or a taxi voucher, then we can go ahead and enter the end date and then choose fully met for the outcome of the need since we provided the bus pass. You would just keep the end date and outcome of need open if this was an ongoing service. And so you could leave that open, and then once you're no longer providing that service, that's when you can put the end date there. Next, we'll go over how to change the client photo. If you'd like to add an image for the client's profile, you would click on the client's profile tab in HMIS. Then beneath the photo icon, you would choose change, then click choose file, and that's where you can upload a photo of the client. Now we're going to talk about how to add yourself as a case manager. Adding yourself as a case manager is useful because this associates you as someone who works with the client in HMIS. And so if you ever lose contact with the client you're working with, but they touch the system in another way, like maybe they check into emergency shelter, then staff there would see your contact and that could be helpful for reconnecting. Also, if you add yourself as a case manager, the client would show up under My Clients in your dashboard on the home screen when you first log into HMIS. So to add yourself as a case manager in HMIS, you would click on the Case Managers tab, then click Add Case Manager. You would then click the drop down next to Select User. That would pull in all your credentials and you can enter the start date that you're working with the client. This would usually match the entry date and then click Add Case Manager. Then to close yourself as a case manager, you would go back into that Case Managers tab, enter the end date, which would usually match your exit date, and close out. Next, we'll talk about the homepage dashboard. The homepage dashboard lives in the home screen of HMIS when you log in, and it can be useful to create little data reports at your fingertips, and really just used to have lists of certain elements readily available for you once you log in to HMIS. This is customizable, so you can change this to whatever is most useful for your workflow. To create that quadrant with the different report options, we would click the black arrow next to Customize Homepage Dashboard and then click Add Counts Reports. Then we would click the pencil next to Counts Reports. Anytime we see a pencil in HMIS, that means that we can edit that. And so once we click that pencil, we'll have this pop-up box, and each of the tabs correspond to the boxes in the dashboard quadrant. So we can click on the top left tab, click the drop down next to the report name, and for this example, I chose My Clients. So once I do that, that's going to pull all of the clients that you were assigned to as a case manager into that box. And if we click on that number 1 there, it would populate the list of names of your clients. And there's a bunch of other options to choose from for the rest of the boxes in the quadrants. For example, you can choose null UDEs, so that's missing data elements, which are clients that have missing data. You can choose expiring ROIs. That would show clients whose ROIs are about to expire, etc. So there's a lot of different options in that report name drop down, and you can just choose, 4 of those that are the most helpful for you. Lastly, we're going to talk about agency news. This is a tab also on the home screen. This is where agency admins can upload any kind of important HMIS news specific to your agency. So if you see anything listed here that's recent, that can be important to take a look at. System news is the tab right next to agency news. And this is any kinds of important HMIS changes that our HMIS department at ECHO wanted to update you all on. If there's any changes you need to be aware of system-wide. And if you have any questions about anything covered in this training video or any HMIS questions in general, you can always feel free to reach out to us through our help desk that lives on our ECHO website under the HMIS tab and then HMIS help desk. And that goes out to our entire team. So whoever is best available to answer that question for you will do so. Thank you.